Hi, my name is Jennifer. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a book haul for you. I'm so excited about all of these books. So it was my birthday recently and I got some book vouchers and some money and I bought some books. So I've got 12 in total here. 8 of them I bought new, 4 of them I bought second hand. So the first 4 I bought in a little independent bookshop that I have never been to before. I can't believe I've never been there before because it was so good. And it was Dead Ink Books in Liverpool. So I'll put a little picture that I took of the outside of the bookshop up on the screen. So Dead Ink Books, you may have heard of them because they are an independent publisher. And they also have a bookshop. So in the bookshop they sell not only their own publications but also books from other independent publishers. As far as I know, they only sell books from independent publishers. So I think probably the reason I'd never been before is because it's not in Liverpool city centre. It's not far out of the centre. It's about like a 15-minute bus journey. But it's just not, because would have no need to go to that area. I've never been before, but I do now have a need to go because it was so good. The bookshop itself was sort of quite small, but brilliant. Like, so many interesting sounding books. I could have spent a long time in there. I tried not to spend too long because my girlfriend was with me. But it was so good. It was so good. So I will definitely be heading back. So while I was there, I wanted to make sure that I bought a book that Dead Ink Books had published themselves. So I picked up Dead Relatives by Lucie McKnight Hardy. This is one I have heard of before and it's been on my radar for a while as one I was interested in reading. It is a short story collection and it sounds kind of creepy and weird. So I'll read you what it says. It says, Iris has never left the big house in the country she shares with Mammy and the servants. When the ladies arrive, she finds that she must appease her dead relatives. Other stories in this collection explore themes of motherhood and the fragile body, family dynamics and small town tensions, unusual traditions and metamorphosis. It says, not for the faint-hearted, Dead Relatives invites you behind closed doors and will leave you wondering if it's better that they're kept shut and firmly locked. So this sounds really good. I love short stories. I like creepy stuff. So I feel like I'm going to really like this one. The next one I picked up there was Joy by Samantha Leigh. So this one I had just briefly heard of. I'd just seen it on Dead Ink's Instagram page and thought it sounded interesting. So Joy is about Joy and Erica, who once shared an intense whirlwind romance as teenagers. Now in their 20s, they're both living separate lives. Joy is dissatisfied with her materialistic lifestyle in London with her husband, and Erica is an artist in their hometown of Liverpool, stuck thinking about the past, while living with a girlfriend who can't stop getting fake tan on the bedsheets. When circumstances bring Joy back home, the pair are faced with everything that was left unsaid. So it sounds good, it sounds queer. I think I'm going to like it. The author, I don't know if the author's from Liverpool, but it says the author lives in Liverpool. So good to sort of read something local as well. I also picked up In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. This is a crime thriller that has been on my radar for a while. It's one I've wanted to read. It's had quite a lot of hype on Booktube and I've just never seen it like out in the wild before anywhere. But this sounds like it could be my kind of thing. It says 6 friends, 1 college reunion, 1 unsolved murder. 10 years after graduation, 10 years after graduation, Jessica has planned every detail of her triumphant return to Duquette University. Everyone will see the person she wants them to see, confident, beautiful, indifferent, not the girl she was before, back when Heather Shelby's murder fractured everything. But not everyone is ready to move on. Someone is determined to make the guilty pay. So yeah, that looks really good. And the final book I picked up in Dead Ink was one that I have never heard of before, but I was just really drawn to it. And this is The Tumbling Girl by Bridget Walsh. This is a Variety Palace mystery and it's the first in a series. So the second book is out as well. They have the second book there. I made sure that I picked up the first book in the series. I really like this cover. and it's set in 1876 Victorian London. It says the feisty Minnie Ward is scraping a living as a scriptwriter with the Variety Palace Music Hall. Her world is turned upside down when her best friend is found dead, and Minnie is convinced it's murder. She teams up with dashing private detective Albert Easterbrook to find justice. Together they navigate the streets of London, from its high-class gentlemen's clubs to its murky underbelly. But as the bodies pile up, they must rely on one another if they're going to track down the killer and make it out alive. So I am really excited about this. I hope I like it, because then I'll have more in the series to read. So yeah, really looking forward to that one. While I was there, I picked up a couple of little bookmarks of books that are that Dead Ink are publishing in the coming months as well. So that was at Bookshop. The next 4 are also new books that I got in, like Waterstones and other sort of bookshops. First is The Listeners by Jordan Tannahill. So this one I have heard of a while ago and knew that it sounded intriguing. I'll tell you what it's about. It says Claire is kept awake one night by a mysterious hum, but her husband cannot hear it, and it seems no one else can either. Gradually the hum unravels the threads of Claire's life, isolating her until she discovers others who can hear it too. But what starts as a self-help group transforms into something far more extreme and sinister with devastating consequences. So I've not heard too much about it, but I have heard good reviews for this on BookTube. And it sounds weird. So I'm looking forward to that one. The next one is one that I had never heard of before, but I saw it. It was face outwards on one of the sort of end shelves on Waterstones, and it just caught my eye, and it sounds really good. It's A Helping Hand by Celia Dale. I really like this cover. There's a quote from the Times saying the queen of suburban horror. So this, I think, is being republished. So this was first published in 1966, and it was republished a couple of years ago. It's got an introduction by Jen Ashworth. It says it's for fans of Shirley Jackson, Roald Dahl and Muriel Spark. And it's got a quote on the back from Ruth Rendell as well. This is a tale of ruthless greed, exploitation and suffocating skin-crawling terror. Okay. Middle-aged Josh and Maisie lead a seemingly unremarkable life. When their elderly lodger, Flo, dies and leaves them her estate, they head to Italy on holiday to take in the sea air and let the sun soak into their bones. There they meet Mrs. Fingal, a wealthy widow who lives unhappily with her grown-up niece. When Josh and Maisie bond with her over ice cream and daily ambles, it's only natural that they arrange for her to move in with them once home. It suits everyone. It says it's a sharp and nasty slice of darkness. So this sounds like my kind of thing. I really like, I guess, sounds sort of like noir-y. Yeah, sounds really good. And speaking of Shirley Jackson, I picked up Dark Tales by Shirley Jackson. I really like this cover with like the silhouette of the cat on the front. This is a modern classic edition. And yeah, it's short stories. I really like Shirley Jackson. So it says, an ordinary commute turns into a nightmarish game of hide and seek. A loving wife hides homicidal thoughts, and a concerned citizen might just be an infamous serial killer. In this collection of Shirley Jackson's finest, most deliciously dark tales, here nothing is as it seems and nowhere is safe. So that sounds excellent. Very pleased with that one. And then the other book that I bought new in the shop was He Who Whispers by John Dickson Carr. This is one of the British Library crime classics. So this one was first published in 1946. I really like John Dickson Carr. He's one of my favourite older crime writers. So let's see what this one is about. I mean, I did read the blurb at the time, but I don't remember it. It says, when Miles is invited to a meeting of the murder club in London, he is met instead with just 2 other guests and is treated to a strange tale of an impossible crime, big tick, in France from years before, the murder of a man on a tower with only one staircase, under watch at the time at which the murder took place. This gets even better, with theories of levitating vampires abounding. The story comes home to Miles when he realises that the librarian he has just hired for his home is none other than Faye Seaton, a woman whose name still echoes from the heart of this bizarre and unsolved murder of the past. It says that Carr considered this novel one of his finest works. So that sounds really good. John Dickson Carr is very well known for locked room mysteries and sort of impossible mysteries. So I have high hopes for this one. And then I got 4 books secondhand from various like secondhand books and charity shops. First one is Paul by Daisy Lafarge, which has sort of been on my radar of what I've kind of been interested in. I have picked this one up a couple of times in like Waterstones, but never quite bought it. So I was really excited to see this one in a charity shop. So this is about Frances, who is a graduate student spending the summer volunteering in rural France. She comes under the influence of Paul, who is a charismatic and domineering owner of this, I think, farm where she's working, an eco farm. As his hold over her tightens and her plans come unstuck, she finds herself entangled in a strange, uneven relationship. On a fraught road trip across the south of France, both are forced to reckon with uncomfortable truths. So I don't know too much about this, but I have heard good things, and I'm just quite intrigued by it. I also picked up a nice Persephone book, secondhand. I got it since the secondhand shop. It does not look secondhand, and it still has its matching bookmark. So I don't know if it's ever been read, but it was certainly, a second-hand price. This is Miss Buncle Married by D. Stevenson. So this is the second book in a series. I say series. I think there's only 2 of them. The first book was called Miss Buncle's Book, that I read a few years ago. I got it out of the library. And I remember at the time saying, like, I enjoyed it. I wouldn't necessarily like go seeking out the next book, but if I saw it, I'd like to read it. So I saw it, so I was like, well, I'm going to get it. The first book is about Miss Buncle, who lives in this sort of small village, and she starts to write about the comings and goings in the village, her neighbours, but she like disguises the names and stuff, and somehow this ends up getting published as a book, and when people find out that it's her who's the author, it all kicks off. So in this one, she's married. I think she gets like married during the first book at some point. I just remember the first book being just quite entertaining and like a nice, easy read. So yeah, happy with that one. Next one I was so excited to see in the charity shop because I've wanted to read this for ages. This is Priestdaddy by Patricia Lockwood. So this is a memoir. I read No One Was Talking About This a few years ago. I have my copy right here actually. This was on the 2021 Women's Prize shortlist and Booker shortlist as well, and I loved this book. So Priestdaddy is Patricia Lockwood's memoir, and I believe it's very, very funny. And it's about her childhood, her family. Her father, it says, is a gun-toting, guitar-riffing Catholic priest. But yeah, I've just heard really, really good things about this book. So looking forward to that one. And then the final book that I picked up in a charity shop. My usual rule when I buy books, whether new or secondhand, is that if I can get it from the library, I will do that instead. So this book I can get from the library. However, this is quite a nice copy, and I thought if I get this, it will encourage me to actually read it. And this is A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. This is a little tiny hardback. It has I haven't tried to take the sticker off, but I think that might come off. That's kind of annoying. Should we try it? Is now the time? Now's the time. It's come off. So yeah. So it's a nice little hardback. I quite like this artwork on the cover. I mean, you know what A Christmas Carol is about. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. But I thought it'd be nice, obviously, to read this at Christmas time. And if I own a nice copy, then I'm more likely to actually read it. So yeah, I was pleased with that. So those are all the books that I've bought in the last sort of month or so. Very excited for them all. I don't know where they're going to go. I have created a few little spaces on my shelves. I have been trying to read books from my shelves, which has been going okay. Could have been going better, but it's not been going too bad. So there is some space on there for them, but there isn't space for all of them. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I might have to start like stacking here, which I don't really like doing, but it's that or move to a bigger house. So yeah, so let me know if you've read any of these books, and I hope you're doing well, and I will speak to you again very soon. Bye.